Welcome to your doom.
I lost it.
Welcome to our Christmas episode, everyone.
Merry Christmas, or almost Christmas. Merry early Christmas. Merry times. Happy. Presents.
That moron was Justin. I'm Otto. And this is the Welcome to Your Doom show. This is our Christmas episode, and we're really happy to be bringing this to you, I guess. Happier than usual. I don't know. I like Christmas. I'm a festive guy.
You've already said that in, what was it, the
Halloween episode?
Yeah, you festive fuck.
I am a festive fuck.
Yeah, I'm less festive. Especially around the Christmas time. I'm not, my wife continually likes to point out that I'm not good at Christmas.
Really?
In general.
Really?
I'm not good at giving gifts or receiving them. Basically, everything around the gift-giving portion of Christmas, I'm terrible at. Because the thing is if there's something I want, I fucking go and get it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't wait until... Well, just wait until Christmas. You never know what Santa's going to get. You fuck off. Like, I know what I want, and I need it now, so I'm going to go get it. And then, alternatively, I'll be like, well, what do you want for Christmas? And then somebody will be like, oh, I want this. And I'm like, all right, I'll fucking get that for you. What? No, you're not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be a surprise. And I go, you just told me what you wanted. So you expected me to get it. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
You sound like a real asshole.
I am the fucking Grinch.
Yeah.
I am the Grinch.
I, on the other hand, am a big fan of Christmas. And you know what? You know, when you're a kid, it's about, you know, the gift giving and all of that. You're right. I think I could see the reasons why you dislike it, just because
I'm a miserable fuck.
Well, yeah, there's that. Plus, the fact that the whole thing, the gift giving, is hard. Like I have trouble doing that as well.
Yeah.
And you know, when someone tells you what they want and you just go out and get it, it kind of defeats the whole purpose, right? Yeah. So I get that, but the holiday is actually, the gift giving is actually like the part I look forward to the least.
Me too.
It's just the holidays are traditionally a time when you spend time with you have some block of time off work. If you're not on vacation at work, if you're on vacation, you're not at work.
If you are, you're doing it wrong.
That's right. It's you know, like the office is typically, it's slow. So even if you're not on vacation and you're at the office, you're not doing a whole lot of work anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't apply to all businesses, obviously, but you know, in the tech industry, you know,
not either of our jobs, because we will work hard.
Yes. Ding. Yeah. So, and it's just a time to, like, where everyone gets together all the time, and I like that. I like spending time with family, and you know, everyone makes the time during that period. You know, call it whatever you want. It just happens to be called Christmas, but it's that period of time where people make time to hang out with each other.
Yeah.
It's got New Year's Eve, always a good party going to happen there, like a big get together, whether it's a house party or, you know, you're going clubbing. I don't know why I said that. I haven't been clubbing in years.
On Christmas?
No, for New Year's.
Oh, that. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Christmas still.
That would
Yuletide rager.
The Yuletide rave. Yeah, so that's why I like it, and my family, or my cousins and I, and yourself, we all go over to a designated house, one of our houses. It kind of rotates each year, and we do this big LAN party.
Yes.
Which is not really a LAN party. Everybody brings their PlayStation 4s, and you have to actually jump on the internet and then play. You're just playing on the internet, sitting next to each other. So that's pretty fun. That lasts about 2.5 days, and that's a great time. That happens right around Christmas, right after Christmas. This time it's going to be 26, 27, 28.
That's right.
It's going to be great. We're going to be playing Don't Starve together. We've got Diablo 3. We've got Rainbow Six Siege. There was something else in there too.
Rainbow Six Siege is old, but it's
it's a solid game. Man.
It's
solid
so good.
Game.
It's a fun game to, like, for everybody to be in the same room and playing together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's why I love it. And from my childhood, there are a lot of movies that I used to watch around Christmas time that always play well for me every year. I've got a whole list of them, but a lot of times I don't get through them all. But watching holiday themed films is definitely something that I do, similar to Halloween.
Sure.
During the month of October, you're watching like Halloween. I'm watching specifically Halloween themed horror films or comedies, whatever it happens to be. And for Christmas, I'm watching, like, some of them are just, like, people just watch awful Christmas movies. I think they get a lot of leeway for.
They get a lot of leeway and a lot of play on cable, right? Because
I guess,
you can't get away from it. As soon as it hits December, like, bad Jenny McCarthy movie after bad Jenny McCarthy movie are just fucking layering on top of each other.
Yeah, like a shitty parfait.
Yes.
Shitty Yuletide.
Are there
McCarthy
good parfaits? Actually, that's a bad question. I don't think I know what a parfait is.
I don't know what a parfait is either, so we're going to move on. I just remember it was a line from Shrek. I'm a parfait. Why did I sound like Christopher Walken?
I was not. That was not well delivered.
I'm a parfait. Oh, jeez. All right, this is another thing I need to explain. Just like the Halloween episode. Oh, was it the Halloween episode? No, it was another one. Anyway, I've been drinking heavily. Not today. Not today, but last night was the holiday party at work, and we got bombed at this bar called Power Up. It's pretty cool.
You fucking alcoholic.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool bar. You got a ton of consoles, like PS4, Xbox One, like everything, and Nintendo Switch and the Wii U. All of that set up, and 4 controllers for everything. And they have all these great 4-player games. They have one big screen playing the Jackbox games, so there was like 9 people always
Jackbox.
there. Open bar, great food, great people. Had a great time. Got home at about 2:30, got to bed by 2:45, 3 o'clock, woke up at 7 a.m. and went to work. And right from work came here to record the podcast. So if I sound like a raving lunatic, it is because I can't think straight. Just like finishing that sentence took me a really long time. This is going to be a painful podcast, but we're going to get through this. We're going to get through it together.
I feel great.
That is the opposite of what I feel right now. But this Yuletide beverage that you've cooked up is turning that frown upside down. Why don't you tell us tell the audience what we're drinking?
All right, so what we're drinking today is a rum that a friend of mine introduced to me. She was doing Habitat for Humanity in Hawaii. So she was building houses or helping build houses or whatever it is that they do in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And because she was going from Toronto over to LA, which is where I was, and then she'd go over to Hawaii and then back, she usually took a couple of days and stayed with me and my roommate when we were in LA.
Right.
So Cathrisha, as a thank you, she ended up bringing this bottle of rum. It's called Koloa.
Okay.
And it's from the island of Kauai. So it's a dark rum. It's amazing. What we're drinking today is actually a coffee rum. Made from the same distillery, and it's fantastic. But along with that in the cup, we've also got hot buttered rum. So essentially, it's literally a stick of butter, honey, some spices like brown sugar and cinnamon and cloves and something else, a little salt, and hot water, and it all melts down along with the rum, and it makes a nice festive drink. I think I found it on, I don't know, it's like one of the top results if you look up hot buttered rum, but instead of spiced rum, we are using this coffee rum, and it is fantastic. So
it is Christmas in the mouth.
God damn right. So this is a big thank you to Cathrisha for introducing me to this rum.
This is, it's pretty good.
I'm gonna need a fucking refill at some point, too.
Yes, absolutely. So, what's been going on? Anything? See anything? Read anything?
I'm starting I've started going through my Christmas list of movies and stuff. So I guess we could talk about that. I was just telling you I watched the new Power Rangers movie about
that's right.
Of the way.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm pretty impressed. It's fun. It's a fun little go around.
Yeah.
It's not going to win Best Picture or anything.
I enjoyed that. I saw that in theaters.
Oh, Best Picture. Fucking Shape of Water is getting a lot of attention.
Is that the Golden Globes?
It's for Golden Globes, which is usually an indicator of at least what nominees are going to get over to.
Yeah, no, it is.
Oscars.
It's getting a lot of buzz. We haven't seen it yet. I think it's coming out this week or next. I'm really confused about its release date, but I think it's today. So I'm really excited to see it. I think Star Wars is also coming out.
That's true.
And I definitely want to see this movie before I see Star Wars. Because I know that will be in the theater for a lot longer than a movie like Shape of Water.
Yeah, true.
And I'm really excited. Del Toro, I've been watching a lot of the interviews, a lot of the press he's been doing. He's been getting a lot of, he's been on talk shows and all of that stuff. I love that I love when actors or directors that I really want to hear from, like new content, when they're releasing a new movie, they do the whole sort of promotion, press circuit, and it's pretty great. And he's also got an exhibit at the Art Gallery of Ontario.
Yeah.
At Home with Monsters, and that's going on until early January, so we should definitely make it out there. And
you haven't been yet.
I haven't been. No.
I've been meaning to. I haven't gone. My buddy Jeff was telling me about it. He said it was fantastic.
Yeah. I saw. I don't know if I told you this, but I went to a Home Alone screening where they had a live orchestra playing the score of the film along with the movie, and Jeff was there.
Oh,
yeah,
Patterson.
Yeah.
Nice.
Random. I couldn't say hi. He was sitting like many rows in front of us, but yeah, he was there. Just random. That's my Jeff story.
All right. Exciting. Riveting.
Yeah.
Riveting.
Yeah. So Del Toro's Shape of Water. I'm really excited. I've never been much for award shows, to be honest. I don't watch them, but I will be very, very happy if this film gets recognized, because I think I'm going to really like the movie. I've liked every one of Del Toro's films, and at least one of his films, The Devil's Backbone, is one of my top 5 favorite films of all time. I adore that movie. So I'm really excited. I'm glad it's getting that attention. It's cool, and that attention is what might get your wife to actually watch this movie.
Yeah, Nisha loves, like, as soon as like award shows start saying, "Oh, this is potentially Best Picture," and Nisha's one of those people that likes to go and see those films. So that might actually get her to this. I don't know if it's enough, because she knows that it's kind of a horror-ish theme. It's like a horror romance, basically, right?
Yeah, I would say so. That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
I'm trying not to watch any of the trailers or anything.
I basically just saw the first one, and that's all I've done thus far. So.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So it'd be cool if she came. I think Shug's going to come as well. Although even if it wasn't in award season, I'd be dragging her ass to that movie, kicking and screaming. So
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, it's going to be good. Yeah, Star Wars: Shape of Water. I want to see Murder on the Orient Express. I didn't get a chance to see that, so I'm thinking maybe I could go check that out this weekend. Matinee.
Nice. And Disney bought another part of our childhood.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Somebody's got to stop these guys. They're just buying everything.
If they buy Hasbro, I'm done. Yeah, and they're getting to a point now where they are probably going to, is my guess.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, like, at this point, they own everything.
They own everything. Yeah, it's pretty wild. So for anybody who hasn't heard yet, that Disney has purchased 20th Century Fox.
Yes.
And their properties, their TV properties, and all their IP. I don't know the specifics of the deal, but I do know that things like, obviously, like X-Men are going to be, under the Marvel banner now.
Yeah.
But it goes further than that, because, Fox makes a lot of, like Alien and Predator are Fox. I don't know if Fox owns the IPs for those, or I don't know exactly how ownership works, but I feel like Disney would have access to those. And how would like another Alien movie or a Predator movie get made under a Disney banner? Although it seems unrealistic that Disney would Disneyfy all of their properties. It doesn't make any sense. But it's all coming from the same place. And I feel like there's going to be a bit of homogenization for a lot of this stuff. And I always believe in competition, right? Warner Brothers is probably it's like the only studio that could really challenge Disney on any level, right? And like you said, if they purchase Hasbro, that gives them
Transformers,
Transformers.
Joe,
yeah, it's just
My Little Pony. Not that I'm a fan of that, but people are nuts about that shit. It blows my mind. Every time I go to whenever I'd go to San Diego Comic-Con, Hasbro would always have a big booth, and they're always giving out booth. The exclusives are always going out, and man, you've got 40-something-year-old men in line for Rainbow Pony or whatever the fuck it is.
Rainbow Dash.
Rainbow Dash, is that what
one of the guys in line?
Oh, for God's sakes! But anyways, it's that's a super valuable IP as well. And
that's right. That's right. So
Hasbro, hold strong.
Warner Brothers, don't let Disney buy you. Can't even. Disney buys Warner Brothers. Disney buys the planet.
Jesus Christ.
They will own all of us shortly.
Earth becomes Disney Earth.
Yeah,
Disney World for real.
A literal Disney World. So Yeah, so there's that. I think we should probably jump in. We're running a little late here.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna go through today is our top five, right?
5.
Yeah. Top 5 movies we like to watch around Christmas time. Our top 5 Christmas films. So let's dive right in with number 5.
We're not doing that every number.
Says you.
You go first.
Me. Shit.
All right.
All right, you go first.
All right. I'm going to start with the one that, okay, so typically with this podcast, we've said this in the past, we try not to talk about this stuff very much. But I had mentioned that we would probably have a whole lot of overlap and that this movie would overlap on both of our lists. And I was shocked to find, and this was the only one we discussed, that this wasn't on your list.
That's right. And I got a good reason for it. So
mine's not really in any order. To be honest, this might be number 1 on my list.
Okay.
Whatever. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Anyways, Die Hard. The world's most potentially perfect, arguably perfect action film. Is set on Christmas.
Pretty fucking solid argument, I'd say.
Yeah.
For being a
Christmas in Los Angeles. At Nakatomi Plaza. Mm-hmm. So anyways, and I just recently watched that because I actually like starting there because it isn't really a very it doesn't have a lot of Christmassy feel to it because it's obviously you don't see snow and this and that.
That's right, yeah.
It's Christmas in LA, which you don't get that. But it's just, you got little elements of Christmas, ho ho ho, now I have a machine gun.
Yep. The office. It's an office Christmas party.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's such a good film.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I want you to justify to me that why you didn't put this on your fucking list. Because when I told Nisha this was a Christmas movie and she said it wasn't, I was ready to call a divorce lawyer. I was this close. Be like, don't you ever say that to me again.
Yeah. So the reason it's not on there is for something you already said. The holiday films I like to watch are the ones that, like, and similarly with Halloween, are ones that have themes of Halloween. Like it actually has to do with Halloween, and Die Hard doesn't really have a lot to do with Christmas as a setting.
You said Halloween. Or am I crazy?
No, I was talking about Halloween, comparing it to how our lists differed on Halloween.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't watch any horror movies during October. I actually watch the horror movies that have to do with Halloween or fall or take place in autumn, that kind of thing. So this one does take place during Christmas, but not a lot of imagery or not a lot of tying to the actual holiday itself. Not a lot of that classic imagery. Also, it's a movie I watch all year round. Like, I don't. There a lot of these movies I'm about to talk about on my list only get watched now. They don't get watched randomly at all, ever, outside of Christmas. So, Die Hard is actually one I watch all year.
Really?
So yeah, I'll
Valentine's Day comes around and John McClane,
be my sweetheart.
Easter, John McClane.
Yeah, that's right. So, like, it doesn't matter when. If I want to watch a good action film, I watch Die Hard.
True. I usually revisit. I mean, watching a movie once a year when you're fucking in your 30s, you've watched it a lot of times.
That's right. I mean,
I pretty much exclusively save it to Christmas. It's something I look forward to in Christmas because I probably haven't seen it all year, and I'm like, ooh, I get to watch Die Hard.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I completely concede to the fact that it is not. There are no Christmas themes in it aside from a couple of songs and some lights and some mistletoe and all that stuff. Some guy randomly kissing somebody at an office Christmas party that he doesn't know. You don't remember that? Right when John McClane goes in and he's walking around and then some guy looks at him and he just goes, "Hey, Merry Christmas," and grabs him by the face and pulls him in and kisses him on the lips. I was like, that's aggressive. That's aggressive. That is not okay at an office Christmas party.
I forgot about that. If that happened at my Christmas party, that would.
If that happened at any Christmas party in this day and age, people would lose their mind.
Yeah. No, that's right. I mean, like you said, it is probably the greatest action film ever filmed.
Groundbreaking. All of you know what I noticed when I was watching
it? Still holds up. It's one of those things where it's like it still looks great. It sounds great.
Yeah. We can do a whole episode.
The action is perfectly staged. I mean, I don't think we have to convince anyone that Die Hard is a seminal action film.
You know one thing I noticed too is all of the villains in the film are fantastic. I mean, not just Hans Gruber.
Yeah, they're all. Yeah,
every single one of them have a little bit of personality.
They're iconic in their own right. Each and every
one of them. Even the guy that's running after him when he's under the table and he's like, "You've got no more table." The way he says, it's just every villain's got a little bit of personality to them.
Yeah.
The guy, he's got the really long hair, balding, and then he's waiting for the cops, and then he just looks up and grabs a Twinkie.
Yeah.
Like little
Is that
character.
the Asian guy?
Yeah.
The
He's in a lot
Asian
of
gangster.
Yeah.
He plays the same Asian gangster
in like every film.
And he's in Big Trouble in Little China.
Yep. He's in a lot of like early '90s action films.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, they all have a lot of character, and I remember his right hand man, the guy with the long hair.
Yeah,
the blonde hair.
I'm trying to remember his name.
You know, like, and then his brother dies in the movie, and he gets pissed off. He even has a little arc.
Yeah,
you know, where
for
he's
sure.
like, he's pissed. There are not a lot of action movies that do that kind of nuanced. I mean, it's not like it's not so detailed. They don't only have so much runtime, but it's enough nuance again to like add flavor to all of these villains.
Yeah,
So
agreed.
Great job there. Yeah.
All right, you can go. I'm done.
All right,
done my rant.
I'm gonna go with one that is pretty conventional. I'd say like Home Alone 1 and 2. I kind of grouped them together. There's not a lot to say here. Everyone's seen Home Alone. An interesting thing about Home Alone for me was that this was my first exposure to Joe Pesci as an actor.
I think it was mine too, actually.
Home Alone was how I knew Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
For my parents or anybody else, like from the previous generation, they grew up with Joe Pesci being a evil, frightening little man stabbing people in the neck with fountain pens and the like. So seeing him in this movie and then seeing him do that was like, I was like, what the hell? Like this is crazy. And Joe Pesci's he's a comedic actor. And then for those folks watching Home Alone, they're like, what the hell is this? This is like Joe Pesci is a serious actor. He works in dramas and he works with Martin Scorsese, but now he's doing this zany like Christmas comedy. So that's a weird thing. Macaulay Culkin's performance in this is actually pretty good for a kid actor. I'm still impressed with some of the scenes. But obviously the big hook for the movie is the end with the setting up of the house and like these characters in real life probably died 6 or 7 times.
It would have been a much shorter movie.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have made it past the first death trap. Really.
Yeah, that's right. And calling them death traps is appropriate. But what that movie does really well is it sets the Christmas tone with the family, and sets that it takes place on a suburban street. It's it's snow covered, and John Williams wrote an incredible score for this movie that is synonymous with this time of year, right? So all that stuff really did come together, and I gotta tell you, man, I think Daniel Stern is fucking hilarious in this movie. He makes me laugh every time, especially in the second one. His best line is he gets into the house in the second one, and they're renovating, and he's like, Harry, I've reached the top. He has this little moment where he falls and he makes that noise. Like, boom. Falls flat on his face on the floor. Again, he's probably dead, but not in this movie. Later he gets up, cracks his back, and he says, wow, what a hole. And that shit cracks me up every single time without fail. So funny. I think Daniel Stern is actually a comedic genius in both of these films.
He's
so
both him and
funny.
Pesci, man. They play those roles well.
I think Pesci is sort of like playing the straight man to Daniel Stern's like complete clown.
Absolutely.
And he does that well, but I think Daniel Stern really does stand out as really like just like delivering the laughs. He is absolutely hysterical in these movies. And it's great. Just it's that synonymous feel, like that feeling of Christmas is really captured here. The first one's got that great cameo with John Candy and driving through the snow, getting back to the house, getting back to Chicago. It just sets the right tone. It's sort of an easy one, low hanging fruit there. No surprises.
To be honest, it was on my list.
Yeah,
so
for sure. Yeah,
and it's on my list for the reason, pretty much all the reasons you said, and also it is impossible to avoid it.
Oh yeah,
during
that's
like
right.
if you like anytime I go to my parents or my in-laws, TV's usually on and you cannot avoid watching it.
That's
but the
right.
thing is, as soon as it's on, shit, you're not changing the channel. It's Home Alone, right?
Yeah, it's Home Alone. You got to watch it.
Right.
You got to watch it. It's great, and I gotta mention the score again. The score really sets the tone. does a wonderful job. And everybody knows this movie line for line, just like Die Hard, man.
Yep.
So, yeah, Home Alone 1 and 2. I lived in New York for 7.5 years, so Home Alone 2's got a special place for me.
True.
You know, a lot of the places they go to in that, you know, they have like the Home Alone tour you can do in New York and stuff like that. But to be honest, the first one is very representative of Christmas to me because it is a suburban street, very much like the street that I live on, for example, and could be a house that well, not that particular house. It's like, that house is like the John Hughes house. Like every John Hughes film has that house in it, and it's massive. But it is a suburban street, a family street, so you could sort of see that kind of thing happening on your own street.
Yeah,
like,
true.
So, yeah, that's my number 5.
Nice.
Number 4.
Well, now that we have taken one of mine off of the list,
Yeah.
let me go. I actually watched this yesterday. I think I watched most of it. I fell asleep a little bit just because I was tired, but I've seen it a dozen times. The adaptation of Charles Dickens' classic Scrooge with Bill Murray, Scrooged.
Oh yeah, that's mine. That's
up there
on my list. Yeah, that's right up there.
Yeah,
that's right up there.
It is.
Some of these other movies don't get watched during this period, but I 100% make that. That's why it's sitting at number 1 for me. I 100%
really
make sure that I watch Scrooged.
Nice.
I absolutely love this movie.
Yeah, it's directed by Richard Donner.
Yeah.
And it's Bill Murray almost like he plays it up like he's very, very hamming it up. Some of the scenes that he has are just good. John Glover, the guy that kind of is like the corporate dick that's kind of trying to take his job, is also like
he's
a
so funny.
subtle antagonist, which is really cool. Like I like his role in that film too.
He's so condescending, but at the same time he seems like he's being nice. Like somehow he straddles that line without you knowing that he's insulting you.
Yeah.
And he's great, and I think he's great in Gremlins too.
Yeah.
He's so funny. And
it's almost the same character, except one's a little bit nicer. And one's less of it. He's like he's got kind of a cocky arrogance to him, but he doesn't really know it in the Gremlins too. But in this one, he knows it. He's just a dick.
Yeah, he's a total dick. But go ahead. Sorry.
I was the scene that really sold me when I was younger, when I first saw this, because this actually terrified me, was the scene with, I can't remember the name of the Len, his old partner, or his old friend that comes and visits him. He's essentially the ghost before the 3 ghosts.
Yep.
And he goes in. That scene is so good.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Marley's character from the original story, but I can't remember his name in the film. But that is a terrifying scene.
It scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I didn't even know I was watching. Like, I think I saw it. I didn't know what the film was. I just turned it on, and I had to turn it off because I was scared shitless. Yeah. I think I've mentioned in the Halloween episode I was a big fucking scaredy cat. Yeah. But like the makeup and the prosthetics that they use in that scene, it's so good.
So good.
So good. Even when he takes off his glasses and he doesn't have any eyes in his sockets, right? I'm assuming they just have stuff, probably maybe black lenses or just whatever it is. But it looks more convincing than like stuff they do in The Walking Dead now for like, what's his name? For Carl.
What? He loses an eye?
Anyways, so not Carl. I think the guy's name is Len.
It's possible.
I don't know. Anyways, the prosthetics were good. The scene, the shot where he puts him out the glass.
Oh, it was amazing.
And tearing at the arm.
Yeah.
That was what's like. That moment. That's when I had to turn off the TV.
Over the edge.
That was it. It was just a good moment.
Even I think that's early CG when he puts
him
out
through the glass.
Yeah,
it is very. But it still holds up because it's still very
subtle.
very simple. Yeah, it's CG used well. It's a very basic effect. And it's done in the right way. And it's not trying to do anything with like real looking characters or anything like that. It's just a set piece, right?
Yeah.
It's just dressing up something that's happening, so it's a situation. So it's a really funny film. All the people that play the ghosts are great. I don't know the actors off the top of my head.
No, I do not. I do not either.
But it's just such a good film. I don't want to go into too many details because I found that like I've talked to some of my other friends and some of them haven't even seen this film.
Wow, no,
it's not.
Get it on the list, folks.
Yes.
This is a good one. This is a really good one. Bill Murray gives one of his, what I think is most sincere performance.
Absolutely.
He plays the role so well, and he's got a great line when Len, let's just call him Len, who knows what his fucking real name is, but comes in and he's like, men wanted to be, like, women adored me and men wanted to be me. And he's like, come on! You paid for the women. Oh, man. Just like his performance is so good. It really cements him as being a comedy legend.
I was close. It was Lou Hayward, not Len.
Hayward. Okay, Lou.
So I was pretty close.
That scene, the reason I like this story in general is that it is fundamentally a ghost story.
Yes.
It is actually a supernatural, almost like supernatural thriller, right? In its construction.
Thriller? God!
Yeah. No, I would say thriller because these scenes of the ghosts coming, they are supposed to be frightening. And it's supposed to be a harrowing experience, right? For him. Especially the third ghost, which I love what they did. By the way, my list is filled with Christmas Carol adaptations. Mm-hmm. I can watch an adaptation of Christmas Carol because it's always a little bit different. This one, and I'm always curious how they do the Ghost of Christmas Future. Because that's the most interesting one. It's typically the most scary. And what they do in this movie is they make his, well, anyway, maybe I won't go into it, but it's a very interesting take on it.
Yeah.
Very, very, very unique. And the one thing that really does sell me on this movie, Bill Murray's performance is amazing, but it's the end. The end, I don't know. Should we talk about this? Anyway,
let's keep it ambiguous. Like
anyway,
I said, I know
he gives a speech.
Yeah, he gives a really good speech,
and that speech literally gets me teared up. Like almost every time I watch it, because he's so sincere, and he has no all of his inhibitions are gone, and he's just like this thing is just pouring out of him, and he can barely control it. And it's just like it's a meandering, sincere speech that really gets to the bottom of what this time of year is supposed to mean. And he does such a good job of that. That speech alone sells me on the film. It's an incredible speech, and it's earned. The movie really does earn it. And it's obviously it's hilarious. The film is funny. The effects are amazing. Sorry, the director, Richard Donner. He proves again that he's like a Hollywood legend. I think he's made some incredible films, like The Omen, Superman, this film, Goonies, you name it. He's directed some.
He made The Omen?
I'm pretty sure he directed The Omen.
No way.
Check it out.
Let's stand by. Well, you can keep talking.
Anyway, yeah. So it's an incredible movie, an incredible take on the story. So
you were not wrong. Holy shit, I love The Omen.
Yeah. The fact that you love Richard Donner films is he's what connects all of these things. He's an amazing filmmaker.
Shit.
He really is. Even his stuff that's moderate to not very good is still pretty friggin' good in comparison to the other stuff that comes out. He did a movie with Bruce Willis called 44 Blocks or something like that. I can't remember. I think it was
16.
16.
Not nearly enough blocks. He did way more blocks in that movie. He was far more tired.
I actually really enjoyed that film. Although it's one of his lesser efforts. It's quite good. Anyway, yeah. So Scrooge. There's not really much else to say other than go see it.
Yeah,
great effects,
absolutely.
great movie, great holiday movie, and a great New York movie too.
Yep.
It's another really really good New York movie.
There's some legitimate feelings in how he has to get a cab, especially the haunted variety.
Oh yes, that's right.
It's reminiscent of crazy fucking cab drivers in New York. Because you usually stumble upon one or two.
Oh, it's great, man.
All right, man.
It's great.
Okay. What do you got?
Number 3.
Did we go to number 3?
Yeah, I don't know.
We're still on number 4. I started, right?
Oh, shit. I don't know.
Number 4. See, this is why I didn't want you numbering. It's like me and the fucking numbering of episodes.
Yeah.
Just go. Number X.
All right. Here's one that I think is going to be pretty controversial. Jack Frost.
That's not controversial.
Not the serial killer snowman with Jake Busey. Not that one.
What?
You should look that one up. We should watch that sometime.
Not a chance.
Jack Frost is starring Michael Keaton and it's, I gotta say, this movie is kind of like my Ernest Scared Stupid equivalent of the Halloween set, because I know this movie has a ton of problems. It's cheesy, but there's a sincerity behind this movie and a zaniness, and the zaniness comes in the form of tone. This movie cannot seem to find one. It does not. It's so off the wall. Sometimes it's being this loopy late 90s, early 2000s comedy with pop songs and all of that cheesy stuff. And then it really dives in headfirst to a kid losing his father and the father coming back and all of like that pent up sort of emotion there. And it does it really well. Those scenes where it's sort of wearing that emotion on its sleeve, it actually does those really well, but it throws all of this other zany stuff like around it, and it can't find a tone. The tone is just all over the place. But I kind of love the movie for it. I love the movie because Michael Keaton is an amazing comedic actor, right? Yep. So he's really, really good. He's great when he's there in person, and then I'm not ruining anything here. He does die, and he comes back as a snowman. And his voice work here is perfect. It's so good. Obviously, like it has its like dull moments with like the dialogue. Some of it's just like head slappingly, face palmingly bad. But that's kind of part of its charm, I think. One thing I do want to mention: the physical effects for the snowman are really good. Like to this day, there are certain shots where I'm not sure whether that's CG or whether that's a real snowman. Because they use the real snowman, and now there's certain scenes where it's obviously a CG, like snowman. But there's some scenes where I'm like, holy shit, that's a practical snowman, and it looks like a snowman, like it looks real, you know. So I'm really impressed with the amount, like the kind of physical work they were able to do on the film, and it's got all the right imagery. The snowball fights that I used to have as a kid, it used to feel like a war zone when we used to have them, and we used to play at war when we were, having snowball fights. And this movie actually has this epic snowball fight with all these kids after school gets let out. And it dubs, it goes way over the top. It dubs over actual war sound effects onto the scene. So this is like machine gun fire and like planes zooming by. And I'm like, wow, this movie has no idea what kind of tone it's going for, but I love it for that. So that's pretty much what I have to say about Jack Frost. I was just looking at reviews on Letterboxd, and
not very good.
Nobody likes this movie. It's one of those. It's definitely on a list of movies that I have. This is on two lists. So one is on my Christmas list, and then another list on Letterboxd is a list of movies that I like that nobody else does. So this is this is on that list too. So so that's Jack Frost, man. It's And his name is Jack Frost. That's how zany
he was. Jack Frost before he became a snowman?
Yes, his name was Jack Frost. Yeah.
Look, you had me at Keaton.
Yeah, no, he's great. It's great to watch. If you're just interested in a little Keaton action, this is a good one. The snowman can be startling, can be frightening.
That was something I wanted to mention.
The snowman can be frightening, but it was never frightening to me as a kid.
No?
When I watched it. It was like never struck me as being terrifying. But a lot of people seem to have a problem with how well this it looks like an evil snowman. And I don't get that, but I guess when I see it in that light, I'm like, I could see how it could be misconstrued, but I never did. It never applied to me. So yeah, Jack Frost, a zany or late 90s, I think, film, or early 2000s. That
something like that.
Dives into dead daddy issues.
It's
weird. It's just a tonal mess, and I love it for it. Yeah.
It's definitely the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, it's a tone-deaf Christmas spirit. Yep.
Yeah.
So, number 3.
God damn it. This one, so because we stomped on...
Stomped?
Not stomped.
We stomped all over it.
Well, Home Alone 2, we kind of stomped in the same playground. Fucking, you know what I mean.
Yes.
Shut up.
Got it.
I'm going to throw in something that was kind of in my reserves. Rise of the Guardians.
Good choice.
Yeah.
It's not even on my Christmas list, actually, but it is a good choice. I do think that could qualify as a Christmas film.
And I don't think it's during Christmas, is it?
No, but I mean, Santa, the Guardian, is a big player.
Right, exactly. So that's why I couldn't... North. They call him North, yeah. But no, the reason is, so I was working at DreamWorks when they were putting this film together, and I got to see a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, some of the production art that they had. I think I still have the book, actually, of the production art. And it was just such a treat to see some of the stuff that they had, especially around Santa Claus.
Yeah.
He, when they had North being set up as a character, he was even more of a swashbuckling, crazy Russian, big tattoos and everything on his arm.
Yeah.
The design on Santa Claus on that was it was ingrained. It still is ingrained in my mind. Is like
Right.
just a really cool design.
That art book is really good.
The
one
art book is really
that you
good.
got.
Yeah.
And that's at my place right now. The art book for that movie is very, very good. I love the designs for all of them, especially North.
Especially North, yeah. His the North Pole, the environment that they set up there, it was just everything. I mean, down to the Yetis.
Yeah.
The Yetis were really neat.
That's right.
And how they were designed. There was actually some cool technical stuff that the TDs had to do and the artists had to do to get them to work properly or render properly, which was neat. And then the elves were like super cool, like those tiny little triangle things. It was just in and of itself, it's just a really fun like winter Christmassy environment. It might not be taking place on Christmas, but that's not the point.
An interesting thing though is also North is obviously one of the big characters in the film, but Jack Frost also Jack Frost is the main character.
Yes.
So they're both in this sort of winter wonderland sort of story, and that's why I think predominantly it does feel like a winter-based or a Christmas-based film. So I agree with you. There's a lot of stuff in that movie I like.
Yep.
And one of the things I did read the first book. The Guardians
what
series.
it was based on, yeah.
It's a kid's book. I read it. I didn't think it was anything special. I actually enjoyed the movie more, but I think it's building up. It's North when he was younger, and I think if I were to read all of them, and they're quick reads since they're kids books, but. The art is amazing. They've got these great pages of art in the book that are just wonderful, and I can see why they had such a strong visual element to this film.
Yeah,
they really did take some of those designs and said, "Okay, we're going to run with this." The tattoos, the swords. He has so many different swords. All that stuff. It's great. It's great.
It was one of my favorite films to see. I didn't work on it, but it was one of my favorite ones to see being developed. It really tugged a chord at me, and it was just such a treat to be there and see that being done. So
yeah, I'm actually probably going to throw that on. I think I have the Blu-ray.
I haven't watched it yet during this Christmas season yet, but that's something that's on my list to do. So,
all right,
that's what I got.
Let's see what I've got here. What I've got is. Like I said, A Christmas Carol is something that I had, like the adaptation of that story is something I really, really, the adaptations of that story are ones I really enjoy. I can watch a ton of them in a row and still feel like I'm watching completely different films.
Yeah.
But my favorite, or the one that I keep coming back to, are there are two of them. Scrooged is one, and the other one that just I absolutely love and I adore is A Muppet Christmas Carol with Michael Caine playing Ebenezer Scrooge.
My cocaine.
It's like, are you a drug dealer? No, why? Why does everybody keep calling you my cocaine? So he's full on scene chewing mode in this with the Muppets, and just some of the stuff they do with the Muppets in this movie it's so amazing. Like technically, it's great, and the sets are super gothic. It's London, like I think it's turn of the century ish, and it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful film, and the Muppets actually add add something unique and new, and Gonzo's playing the narrator, and the first thing he does in the movie is like, "Hi, I'm Charles Dickens." It's Gonzo. It's like, what? It's a great way to set the tone. It's actually, again, it's got that almost frightening aspect to it because it is a ghost story.
Yeah.
So none of those films leave that out. They always tamper with the whole horror, supernatural aspect of it, and this is no exception. So, I highly recommend it. I think this movie is actually directed by, it's the first Muppet movie not directed by Jim Henson. Oh. It's directed by Brian Henson, his son. So it's the first movie it's the first movie you see, I believe, and someone can correct me on this, it's the first movie you see Kermit the Frog walking. Like he's legit walking in one of the scenes with his legs and stuff. Huh. With his legs. He's walking with his legs. I thought he was walking with his arms. I'm filling all the jokes in. Anyway, never mind.
Were you drinking yesterday?
Absolutely. Guzzling it down. Still in the system. So Muppet Christmas Carol, it's great. Michael Caine sings.
He sings.
It's a musical, right? It's a Muppets movie.
True.
It's a musical, so he's singing, he's dancing.
Who was your favorite Muppet?
I had two, and they're kind of like obscure ones. Beaker
is not obscure. I almost spit out my hot butter rum. Beaker?
What?
Obscure!
It's better than shattered glass and sticking it in my throat. What?
I love Beaker.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Beaker's great. The other one I loved is Animal.
Yo, okay. Animal, one of mine, and
the brothers, the critics, obviously. Are
the critics they're in a whole other territory.
I can't remember their names now.
They're two grumpy old men. And Fozzie, I love me some Fozzie.
Fozzie, yeah, he's pretty good. And he's in this movie, and they all play characters from the story. So it's really funny to see them play these classic characters. And the movie, and it's similar to Muppet Treasure Island, which Tim Curry is in, and Tim Curry being another amazing actor. They all play classic characters in that story as well. So it's interesting what they do, and it's funny and it's entertaining. So I definitely make room to watch this every year.
Cool. Now it's my turn.
Yes, it is.
All right. This next one is okay. So I'm pulling a fast one on you. Very fast one. We've been talking movies, but this podcast typically talks about movies and comic books and games. Well, you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I think I know what it is, too.
Exactly. It's another Charles Dickens take on the classic Christmas Carol.
All right.
But it's a book called Batman Noel by Lee Bermejo.
Yep.
And I'm actually midway through reading it again, and I read this every single year. It's basically DC's take on the classic Christmas Carol story, but with Batman, and some of his villains and friends come in and substitute as the ghosts in this story that's told basically in the eyes of somebody who I think he's
it's like a crook.
Yeah,
like the crook he's chasing at the beginning.
Yeah, it's that character that's telling the story.
Yes,
I think, right?
so
basically, he's telling this to his son, and he's talking. Actually, I think it's his son. I can't remember now. In any case, it's somebody telling a story, and while this story, basically, he's telling the Scrooge story, but while the Scrooge story is being told kind of as the narrating element of the story, this Batman story is being told as well, and it's very reminiscent of that, like
parallels. Yeah.
Exactly. So, like, the first ghost comes to him that tells him the other three ghosts are coming to come and talk to him, and that's basically where the story goes. It's unique in a sense of I don't think that this has been done for Batman before. I think this is the only book of its kind like this.
That's right.
For that character in that universe, but it's just done so well. The lettering and the way that the story is told. It's just I haven't read anything that quite makes me want to go back to something every single year and read it. And this story is that the art is phenomenal.
I mean, Bermejo. Let's just focus on that for a minute because Lee Bermejo is an incredible artist, and his Batman is top notch, Batman, and an amazing Joker, obviously. But his takes on all of the DC sort of pantheon are they're amazing. I love his Superman is really good too. I mean, I feel like I'm naming every character now, but he's. And he's a half decent writer.
This was his first book, I think.
I think it was his first. Yeah, that's right. And it's an OGN, like an original graphic novel. I own the hardcover. I was just looking for it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
couldn't find it. No idea where it is. I probably loaned it to someone in New York and never got it back. So I'm thinking of maybe purchasing another copy. But yeah, no, it's one to own. It's a beautiful looking book and a well told story and solid parallels. Now it stretches the parallels a little bit if I remember correctly. Like some kind of bends the story to make it more make it more in line with the original sort of Christmas Carol.
That's right.
No, it's a good one and it's got a lot of the sort of that Christmas imagery and again Bermejo's art really makes it pop.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Cool. That was a good one.
Definitely check it out. It's called Batman Noel. It's definitely worth having in your collection, or at least giving a read. Go to the local library and pick it up.
Yes,
if you can find
absolutely. I think I'm going to do my last. Do you have another movie, or that's it? We're going to do honorable mentions.
I had one more.
Okay.
I had one more.
All right. So why don't we do honorable mentions now, and then do our last films. Right, so honorable mentions for me, a lot of stuff here. I have a running list on Letterboxd for both Halloween and Christmas movies. So a couple that I'm going to throw out: A Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey, the Robert Zemeckis CG one.
I never saw that.
Never saw it. It's worth checking out. It has some interesting takes on the story itself. Charlie Brown Christmas, which I only watched for the first time maybe like 2 years ago with you and Nader outside. We did an outdoor movie and we watched Charlie Brown. And that one is kind of depressing.
Yeah,
in a weird way.
Terribly depressing. Yeah. I remember being upset after that.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Mickey's Christmas Carol, which is a 28-minute Disney version of Christmas Carol. It's amazing. It's got that classic animation, all the Disney characters playing the different characters from the Dickens story. Very well animated, just pure nostalgia. It's great. It's great stuff. A Christmas Vacation, obviously, it's another one I watch here. The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Two that I wanted. There are two that I want to mention in particular. Die Hard's on this list, but two that I want to highlight. Gremlins, which I feel like is a Christmas film. Like that movie, although I'd watch that movie at any point in the year, it does have a lot to do with the time of year. It's got that Amblin set design that makes it very reminiscent and very very nostalgic. Like it's got that haze of nostalgia all over it.
Sure.
And Batman Returns.
Yeah.
That one, these two are both very strange, very dark movies that take place around Christmas time, and Christmas is a part of the story. And they're both, and Batman Returns, obviously Tim Burton's, this is essentially Tim Burton's Batman.
Absolutely.
It's taken it in a very weird direction, but the set design is phenomenal. The movie looks incredible. The makeup design, the art direction, it's fantastic. It's just like unparalleled, man. I mean, it's definitely a sight to behold. Feel as you may about the movie. The movie's it's strange.
It's a weird movie.
I kind of like it for that, but the set design's amazing. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the claymation one.
Yeah, that would have been one I would have mentioned. Actually.
Elf. It's a Wonderful Life. The Alistair Sim Scrooge, which is the one we watched outside. Yeah. The black and white one. That's a great one. Krampus, which we saw last year or 2 years ago, and Fred Claus.
The fuck is Fred Claus?
It's with Vince Vaughn and Paul Giamatti.
Oy.
Yeah, I like that more than I should have, to be honest. But it's kind of funny, and it has the festive stuff in it, and it just does it well. It's cheesy holiday stuff, but I can't get enough of it during the time. So those are my honorable mentions.
You mentioned like a few of the ones that I had. The only one I think that you didn't mention that I wanted to mention, and I was considering putting this on the list, didn't because Die Hard was already in there because it very much treads the same territory as that.
Oh, right, that's right.
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon.
It's another LA Christmas movie. And by LA Christmas movie, I mean it's set on Christmas and has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But the very first song is Jingle Bell Rock.
Yes,
and the
that's
song
right.
theme when they're zooming in on the building. So, I mean, it sets it up kind of in that sense. And there's when they actually when the bad guys come towards the end of the film to basically try and go after Briggs and Murtaugh. I think they find a Christmas tree with like, oh, they're not here or something like that. Or so there's some imagery in there, but the main reason I revisited is because
another Richard Donner movie.
That's another thing I want to mention. Another Richard Donner movie.
Like
probably one he's one of the most famous for.
Lethal Weapon? Yeah. Oh, Superman. I think
Superman too. Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, it's one I revisit also around the holidays. Not because it's a holiday film. It's just because I try and watch it maybe once a year. And that's
a great movie. Yeah. Shane Black, interesting enough, wrote that. And a lot of his movies that he writes, he takes place around Christmas because he wrote and directed the Val Kilmer, Robert Downey Jr. film called... Why can't I think of the name right now?
Kiss
Bang Bang, which also takes place around Christmas in LA. So, a lot of connections we're finding here.
I think there's one more movie that he wrote, and I wanted to just confirm.
Is that the one with Bruce Willis?
He wrote the screenplay for Iron Man 3 as well, which also was...
Well, he directed Iron Man 3.
Did he direct it too?
Yeah,
I couldn't remember if he directed it. Okay.
Does that have a Christmas thing in it too?
I thought it was on Christmas.
I didn't even see Iron Man 3.
It's been ages.
Yeah.
I saw it once, and it had some cool moments to it. I liked it better than 2.
It had, he also directed another movie with Bruce Willis and one of the Damon Wayans. What's that one called? Not Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. It's something like that.
Not Nice Guys. Edge?
No.
He's only directed a few. He
didn't direct it. He wrote it. Tony Scott directed the movie.
He did the screenplay for Last Action Hero.
Hang on, where is it?
Long Kiss Goodnight? No,
not that one.
Kiss AWOL. Oh, Edge? No.
No, what the hell?
I don't know, dude.
Oh man, this is pissing me off.
Figure it out. Search yourself out. Last Boy Scout?
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah, Last Boy Scout. Yeah. I can't remember if that was Christmas related or not. I wasn't sure if you'd seen it. But anyway, Lethal Weapon. There was one other thing I wanted to mention really quick. I wanted to do it as a bonus round, but I think I'm just going to throw it in here.
Do it.
I've been listening to we listen to a lot of audiobooks. You know, we do a lot of traveling, and we've talked about this in the past. One of the ones I try to revisit every year, is A Christmas Carol, the story, unabridged. Tim Curry is reading it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and it's amazing. He's amazing. He does all the voices. He's just fantastic. But listening to Tim Curry for a few hours telling this story, it's heaven, man. It's heaven. Because Tim Curry is just so expressive and funny and just a great talent, an amazing talent. So if you haven't read the book and you don't feel like reading the book, words and things. I'm not doing so hot today.
I'm doing fine. Just keep it going.
I'm powering through. The audiobook is a great alternative. And that's, I've never actually read the book. I don't own a copy, and I want to change that this year. I do want to get a copy of the story because I love it so much. It's so timeless. But this is a great way to consume it because I believe it is unabridged. And so if you can find that somewhere at your library, for example, Tim Curry reading A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Amazing. A great way to consume that story.
So you said unabridged. I thought you said on a bridge. I was
He's reading it on a bridge.
Why?
Yeah.
That's a strange choice. Listen, Tim, we want you to read this, but you have to be on a bridge. What? No, you have to be on a bridge. We can't do this any other way, Tim. Are you okay with this? Yes.
So those are the honorable mentions.
All right. You said you have one more, right?
Yeah, last movie.
I got it.
Essentially one that I 100% I'm up there with Scrooged. I always make room for. It's called, you ready?
I'm ready.
Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. This is purely nostalgic. It gets to me in the cockles of my heart, in the subcockle area. You know, this is 3 stories told. So it's a, what do you call it?
Triplex. That's not the word.
Triptychon. No, it's oh god. What is Trick or Treat? I can't.
Oh, anthology.
It's an anthology.
There you go.
Yes. Oh jeez.
It's not often I can pull the words out faster than you can, my friend.
Depends on where you're pulling them out from. So it's an anthology film. And it's three stories with all of the Disney characters in it, and they're all really great. They're just super well animated, very poignant. All of them have a great lesson, but it's just the animation is so good and the voice acting is so good, and they get that imagery just right. It's brilliant. I absolutely love it. I try to watch it with Shagu every year. I've been watching it every year for a long time now. It's been a long time, and I'm a grown ass man. And Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas is pretty much my number one Christmas movie. So there it is, world. You know my deep, dark secret. Have you ever seen this?
I have never even heard of it. No.
It's, you know what?
I don't even recognize that.
Throw it on one day. I believe, I want to confirm this. Oh yes, Kelsey Grammer is the narrator of this, and it's good stuff.
That's why you like it so much.
Oh man, he's got that deep, soothing voice.
Frasier.
He really does. Check it out. It's look. It's not gonna knock your socks off or anything, but it's just a solid movie. I enjoy it. If I'm watching, I see myself watching it with my niece and nephew and stuff like that. It's something I can always come back to. So
fair enough.
There you have it.
Fair enough. One that I go back to a lot more than I should. I don't know if you've ever seen it, and it's funny because we talked about this character during our Halloween episode. Have you ever seen Ernest Saves Christmas?
So I have not.
You've never seen it?
No, I've not seen it. You know what I have seen though? I've seen the Nostalgia Critic review of that movie.
Really?
Yeah. But I haven't seen Ernest Saves Christmas, and I think we've talked about this, and I think I may have told you this before. The problem I have with that movie is the same issue I would have with Lethal Weapon, or the same issue I'd have with Die Hard. It's this L.A. Christmas. I just can't get into it.
Oh, okay.
I can't get into it.
I get it.
I'm such a traditionalist.
I get that. I get that.
And it's tough for me to get into that.
Now, here's the thing, though, right? Where Die Hard and Lethal Weapon, those LA Christmases, yeah, I can kind of get it. This one has actual fucking Santa Claus walking around in daylight the whole time, trying to find another guy to take his job.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the fucking
I do
premise.
recall this from and from what I've seen, the guy who plays Santa Claus is so good. He's so good.
Do you know who he is? He voices the Sultan.
Yes,
yes. And I didn't know that before until I was just actually
yes.
watching clips of it today on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I start listening to his voice. And I'm like, I know that voice. And he literally in this movie looks exactly like the Sultan, except not as big and plump as the Sultan. Because he's got the same kind of upturned mustache and it's all white. Like it's the same guy.
That's funny.
But this movie's basically the whole premise is Santa Claus for some crazy reason is using public or commercial transit.
He's flying on a plane.
Yeah.
He's
just flying coach into LA for some god awful reason.
Yeah.
But his job and the reason he's coming to LA is that his time is dwindling and he needs to pass on the mantle of Santa Claus to another person, and there's somebody in LA that he's got to give it to. He ends up meeting up with Ernest at the airport because Ernest is driving a cab.
I love how in every Ernest movie, Ernest has some weird services job,
and he's
really
always
strange.
Horrible at it.
Yeah, he's awful at it. And that's why he moves around all the time.
Yeah, he proceeds to basically hit and run his way to the airport.
Oh, jeez, yeah. Picks
up Santa.
I have seen
and
these parts of the movie.
Yeah,
I think I've actually seen some of this movie, not the Nostalgia Critic version, but
I'd have to watch the Nostalgia Critic review of it.
You should check it out.
I'd love to check out his take on it.
It's
but
funny.
It's just a fun movie. It's got a lot of Christmas spirit to it. The guy that he's trying to convince to become Santa Claus is actually I think he's a pretty famous actor, and a child, he's almost like a Fred Penner or Mr. Dressup or one of those guys.
Yeah, that's right.
And
I think I know who you're talking about.
He's putting him in the movie studio is essentially putting him in a horror movie and trying to get him to swear, and he just can't do it. So he's just a good person overall, and that's why Santa's picking this guy. So he's got to become Santa Claus, and the whole premise is he's basically got to pick up the mantle by 7 o'clock of the day that he arrives, which, way to go, Santa, for giving him enough time to make a fucking decision.
Yeah.
But he basically touches down and says, you got to give out presents by 7 o'clock tonight, or maybe the next day, or Christmas is canceled because daylight's going to come up and you can't do your job by daylight. So
yeah.
So there's a lot
Douglas Seal plays Santa Claus. Jim Varney obviously plays Ernest. Mm-hmm. And the guy who plays... I don't think it's any of these people.
It's Oliver Clark is the guy that
Oliver Clark.
Yeah, Oliver Clark's the one that plays the Santa Claus to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a fun movie. There's a lot of fun scenes. I think probably my favorite Ernest scene of all time is in this film where he's the snake wrangler. I can't remember the name of the character that he is, but he's got this amazing scene. He's basically trying to smuggle Santa Claus onto a movie set to go and see this Santa Claus.
Oh, yes, I do remember. It's great.
He's just
Is he? It's like the insane asylum. He's got to come in, or
no. He's basically he's a snake wrangler, and the guy at the front desk comes up to him. He's like, "Hello." He's driving in this truck, and he put snake wrangling or whatever, and Santa's in a sack in the back, covered in kind of I think he's covered in hoses or something like that. And Jim Varney just gets to the front, and the guy says, "What do you got back there?" He's like, "I got meat." And the way he's contorting his face and his jaw, he's got one tooth blacked out.
Yeah.
I've got me some snakes. And he's just out of his mind. It's so good.
I gotta watch that because one of the things I absolutely love about Jim Varney is his impressions. When he's Ernest, he takes on those different personas.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of Ernest Scared Stupid is when he does those montages where he plays a bunch of different characters. Now that you're talking about his face contorting stuff, I feel like Ernest is a precursor to Jim Carrey.
Absolutely. And did I say Jim Carrey before? I might have said Jim Carrey.
Oh, Jim Varney.
It's Jim Varney, obviously.
Jim Varney,
But for some reason I mixed up the names.
Yeah.
The names sound similar. But
they're both similar sort of slapstick comedy.
To some degree.
And his facial expressions are a big part of his character.
Yes.
So and Jim Carrey, obviously he did exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
he did exactly the same thing, right? So I feel just you mentioning the facial contortions, because again, he does it a lot in Ernest Scared Stupid. So you know what? I think just based on this, I'm gonna go. I'm definitely gonna try and check that out.
I won't play the video, but that's the still image. Like this is the still image.
He's got the must. He's got. Oh, he's got that. He's got that crazy.
A truckload of snakes. I'll put it. I might actually see. We'll see if I can find a video of it on YouTube. I'll put it on the article because it's just so good.
That's funny. No, it's good. That's a good choice.
Yeah,
that is a good choice. So, anything else? Anything else you want to mention?
No. That's pretty much it for me in terms of stuff I revisit around Christmas.
Yeah. So probably the next show we'll record is going to be in January sometime. Probably do a Star Wars maybe or a Shape of Water. I'd like to do both if we can, if possible. Like 2 different shows. I mean, 2 different episodes.
Yeah.
So,
Well, good Lord, we can barely contain one episode in an hour and a bit.
Yeah.
There's no way we're containing
the Shape of Star Wars.
The Shape of Star Wars. It's just a lightsaber.
Right. Exactly. So that is our top 5-ish selections and 1 book.
And 1 book.
Yeah.
One surprise.
Right. 1 surprise. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. So everyone have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, you filthy animals. That was all backwards. It should have been Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. And a Happy New Year.
Take care, guys.
See ya.
Ciao.